each other on the way, on the road. Today we welcome our guest, Joao Sensei. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation again. You were here last year. Unfortunately, I wasn't then there, but maybe some of you were. You may have seen in the announcement that this time we got a Zen teacher. Not like Jan, but a sensei. And he will speak about Zen meditation. Start with a little meditation perhaps, then the talk, and then there will be, as always, room for a Q&A. So, thank you very much, and please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And welcome everybody. Thank you for welcoming me here again. Does anybody need a translation? Is it fine? I can go on.
Could you put the mic a little closer to your mouth?
Sure. Better?
Yeah, that's great.
I'm very grateful for this invitation. Again, following last year's one, and quite humbled by this. We will start with a short meditation practice. I imagine all of you have already experienced meditating. We just finished a 3 days, let's say, workshop, not really a retreat, in Bangkok, where we sat quite a lot. And I just invite you to take a comfortable position, relax, connect with your breathing. I'm sure you are all familiar with that. didn't move. Thank you. Thank you for sitting together. As I said, I'm very grateful for being here again this year. I was welcomed last year very kindly. And when the opportunity came up this time, I had this very warm feeling coming to this place, seeing it as a place of refuge for so many people traveling, coming from far away, a little bit like me. Feeling welcomed here and seeing the openness and the heart of the people who care for this place. It's so important, it goes so far. This impression of belonging to a community of people we know, people we don't know, people who came in the past, those who certainly will still follow this path. It's something that has been very present for me, taking refuge. I've been coming to Thailand to teach this is my 4th visit, and I'm fortunate to have connections here that are taking roots and establishing a practice and carrying on my lineage. I can say a little bit about myself, and I'm really interested also in what you might have to say, so at any point if you have something you want to share or ask, please do so. So I teach in the lineage of Taizan Maizumi Roshi. I'm a student of Catherine Roshi from France. She studied in the US with Genpo Roshi. So it's a Soto Zen lineage. I've been teaching since 2019 in France, and I had an invitation from a friend that works here and practices also with us in France to come and guide a retreat, a Zen retreat. He wanted to share that with his friends, so I did, and from there came this connection and these repeated invitations. Somehow it looks like a miracle to be here and to see this practice flourish. I discovered Buddhism in '99. I came here for an unrelated purpose, but it so happened that I was very inspired by Thai people and the Thai way of expressing the Dharma. And since then I just kept practicing and changed my life. So today I'm here. again, it's very humbling to be sitting in this place. I think often of Dogen Zenji, the founder of the Japanese Soto school. When he came from China to Japan, he came back to Japan, and he said, I come empty-handed. So it's a little bit how I feel. Sometimes even the meditation that we do, there's not a lot of techniques, not a lot of things to do or things not to do. It's a quite naked way of being with oneself. But I do believe in the power of long-term connections and sustained practice. That's what we do in France. My teacher has been teaching for over 40 years. We have a Sangha that has a regular practice, weekly practice, and retreats every month. We sit a lot, we do koans, we work together. I live in a residential center, it's not a monastery. As you know, in the West, it's difficult to have the material conditions to establish that kind of practice. We have something in between with people, lay people who work and practice. And people who are able to, in the midst of their obligations and relationships, life paths, to manifest their commitment and their intention to clarify for themselves life. So coming back to this aspect of taking refuge, it's something that I feel is extremely important and central in our practice. Taking the Buddhist precepts and taking this path as a life path, and also creating this sense of belonging to a lineage, to a community. I'm fortunate to see this taking place in Thailand. We are creating a small Sangha. It's growing. Each time we try to practice together as much as possible. So yeah, it's very beautiful to see how it happens. It's difficult to be far. We are fortunate nowadays to have Zoom and ways to stay connected. I don't know, I can imagine that is very precious for those who pass by or live in Thailand, to have a place like this, to come together, to feel connected, to practice. It's such a precious support community. There's a lot of precious aspects in a personal, individual practice, but Sometimes it's a difficult path, so the Sangha is so precious to help us go on. I would really like to hear from you, and maybe there's something that you would like to address or ask, or please feel free to do so. Thank you, Kat. Yes, we are so connected in ways that go so much beyond what we can see, and sometimes we might lack trust that that it is so. I can tell you from here, sitting here minutes ago and seeing everyone meditating, such a peaceful practice and such a something that we share. It's kind of amazing. I can imagine there's people from many walks of life and many countries, many different countries, and to see how this practice can be so personal and intimate, and at the same time shared in this way, such a peaceful way. We feel safe, we feel at ease, we feel connected, and for me, trust is an essential aspect, because we trust in long-term practice. You know, sometimes there's difficult moments, and we can keep going and go through them and learn from them, and be a support for others when they go through the same. I do believe also in the power of the lineage and the power of the vows. Taking the precepts in our tradition is also taking the bodhisattva vows, which are an amazing way to open our perspective and our heart, you know, to open it to all beings, those we like, those we don't like, those we know, those we don't know. So also I feel practice brings us the answers that we need. It's kind of it happens in a mysterious way, but I have the impression that it happens without fail, you know. As long as we keep sincerely looking for our way. And yes, I'm happy that you're here and that we share this universe. It's it's a very nice one, you know. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I lived in New Orleans about 40 years ago, which, as you know, used to be part of France. And there was a teacher at that time who also was in the Deshimaru lineage, who created a sensei there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a chance to do a little practice with him, actually more than a little. My recollection is that his approach, at least the teacher's approach, was quite physical. That means being in the body, not talking too much, not no koan or like Rinzai Sekta, no questions and answers so much as get back in the body. Raise your chest, I still remember him saying often. So anyway, all that's a prelude to my asking you if you could describe something about the Deshimaru lineage, because you were saying that the lineage is very important to you. So what is the nature of the practice? What is the essence of the practice? Tell us about it.
Thank you. I actually started in Portugal with a group and a teacher affiliated with the Deshimaru Roshi's Sangha. I'm very grateful for that. At the time, there was no other group, and there was very little information about the posture, sitting, and the Zen way, you know. I started with them. I did my first retreat with this teacher, and at some point, I felt I wanted to I wouldn't say go further, but there was a call for me to find a teacher with whom I would resonate, which I did. My teacher that I met in 2002. So that has been my practice since then. I went to Japan to a Rinzai monastery for over a year, less than 2 years, with Shodo Arada Roshi, which I keep in my heart, and I had the good fortune of being able to sit with him again a few years ago. So about the Deshimaru lineage, I can't say much. I really don't belong there, you know. I appreciate there's a word that is not coming to my mind now. The precision of the approach to sitting. That's how I started. I learned to sit with them. But really it was a short encounter.
I think I misunderstood. I thought that your lineage now was the Deshimaru lineage.
No. So I belong to Taizan Maizumi Roshi's lineage. So Maizumi Roshi went from Japan to the US, late 50s, I think, late 50s. First as a missionary to the Japanese community there, and then seeing the interest for practice and the eagerness to study the Dharma from that generation of American people. he opened the Zen Center, Los Angeles Zen Center, and then a monastery in California. And his lineage has spread, in the US, but also in Europe. We were talking before of Tenke Roshi, which is a Dharma brother of my teacher. He brought his Soto Zen tradition to the US. Dogen was very much part of what he wanted also to transmit. And then he took koan practice with Kuryo Roshi and Yasutani Roshi. So we have that which, traditionally in a quite simplified way, we tend to think it's a Rinzai practice, which is not very accurate, but for the most part, yes, it's very much a Rinzai practice. But we have it also, thanks to his care for what he perceived as the needs of his students in the West. My teacher, Catherine Geno Roshi, she lived in San Francisco. She met Genpo Roshi in Paris, actually, practiced with him in the US, and they travel a lot. Genpo Roshi taught a lot in Holland and in other places in Europe, but a lot in Holland and Poland. And my teacher kept also those connections, and so we have quite an international Sangha. In your question, there was a more general question about lineage, right?
You said lineage is very important to you, and I wonder, in addition to all of those connections in the human relationships, what is the nature of your, let's say, daily practice?
Yeah. So about the lineage comes with an empowerment that for me it's essential to be able to be here. It's already not very easy, but it would be impossible without the empowerment from my teacher and this current of ongoing practice since very long ago. Also, something that in our tradition is very clear is the personal aspect of this transmission. It comes from an intimate encounter between two people, which is, for me, very important, because it's at the same time very personal, because you can't help it. You connect with someone else the way you are, and the same thing happens with the other person. And in this connection and in this meeting, there's something that goes beyond the personal, but which doesn't exclude personal characteristics. And in a way, when you think of the chain of meetings that you can see in a lineage chart, many people that you don't know, you never met, but then when it comes closer, people that you practice with, you spend a very important part of your life with. In a way, the fact that you encounter the Dharma in a human being kind of validates also your condition of being a person, being a human being, having your own difficulties, patterns, shortcomings, qualities. And basically, it's a connection of respect and love, but also being willing to expose oneself in a very sincere way and honest way. I'm talking about long-term connections, long-term relationships, where with your teacher you go through all sorts of events in your life. And when I was mentioning the fact of feeling welcome here, I wasn't able to say how deeply that touches me. And this is something that it's related to my encounter with my teacher and my experience through many years. The experience of being accepted and being welcome as, and it's quite mysterious how these things happen. It was so at the very first retreat. I felt I was coming home. I felt I was finding somehow my family. It was strange because it was people I had never seen. And in many moments in my life, to have this clear feeling of being accepted and being welcomed, and this is something that has the power to change some fundamental beliefs and fundamental conditionings in oneself. So for me, that aspect of the lineage, it's very important, the individual meeting. And then, as I said, personally, it would be unthinkable for me to be here without the trust and the empowerment from my teacher, which is, you know, part of a chain of transmission. Thank you.
Sometimes in a Zen monastery you see this big chart, and the Buddha is at the very top. Then you go from the Buddha to his students, and then their students, and their students. And you go through that whole line, and then at the very bottom is your teacher. It's still, and then when you get the transmission, then you get your own scroll with your little name at the bottom. So there's a direct line between you and 2,700 years ago the Buddha. And that's something. And it's not like, you know, you see these charts for royal dynasties or what have you. No, this is really the teaching being passed on from the Buddha to his teacher. That teacher always, as Sensei is explaining, in a very personal ceremony where this teaching is transmitted. So that's I always found it quite an impressive and a powerful symbol.
Yes, sometimes a little bit heavy, but powerful, yes. But also when you receive the precepts, what we call jukai, when you do a jukai ceremony where you take the bodhisattva precepts, you also write a lineage chart where your name is appears after the name of your teacher. And there is a line, a red line, which is a bloodline, and this bloodline comes down from Shakyamuni Buddha, and then it goes up back in a circle. Lineage charts, they are a very, though I'm not a scholar to have any authority on that subject, but they are quite a Chinese thing. And in China, when Chan practice started to flourish and take roots, for questions of legitimacy, you have important figures like the sixth patriarch, and you have also lineage charts up to Bodhidharma and from then back to Shakyamuni Buddha, Mahakashapa, Ananda, and so on. But they are also, so they are in a way a construction of a certain legitimacy and a certain affiliation, which is, I feel, even at a symbolic level, something very powerful to feel connected to the root of this tradition. But they are also the expression of many, many it's even difficult to use a word for them. But these meetings, there is a beautiful text in the Soto school that we use as koans, the transmission of the lamp, transmission of the light, which tells the short dialogues, short stories about the meeting between all these people down to Dogen Zenji. And each time they express something extremely beautiful and extremely profound. And we can resonate with this, not only with the depth of the wisdom that is expressed, but also we can resonate with this sense of intimacy, of two people coming together and expressing something true on a personal level and on a universal level.
Maybe something else. You've mentioned a few times the Bodhisattva vow. As you know, here in Thailand, the dominant form of Buddhism is Theravada, which doesn't really have the Bodhisattva. So I don't know whether everybody is familiar with the term and what it means. Maybe you could elaborate a bit on that.
Sure. Thank you. So we basically have 10 precepts, which are, basic moral principles, and that are common also to the Theravada tradition. We vow to refrain from killing, stealing, lying, intoxicating oneself, indulging in sexual misconduct, and the more subtle ones like speaking of others' errors and faults, elevating oneself and putting others down, being stingy, especially with the Dharma, indulging in anger, and speaking ill of the three treasures. And this is 10 precepts that on a moral ground we can all relate to and see the benefit and the importance of them to harmonious, trustworthy functioning together. They are also, as every precept, they work as a mirror, as a reminder and as a mirror, since we create a bond through the vow. We create a bond with this way of living. Of course we're going to break the precepts. Of course I'm going to lie. Of course it's human, but I have this tool that can help me to recall what is my deeper intention and what also is my fundamental nature. They are a natural expression of what we truly are. Where I think it might differ from the Theravada understanding So these 10 precepts actually are a group of 16 precepts. These 10 precepts, they come from the 3 pure precepts, which are to cease from evil, to do good for others. So, because we need precisions, we need the help of the detailed aspect of the 10 precepts. These 3 in itself, they would be enough, but we still need a clarification and the tool of having these 10 very, very practical aspects of human behavior. But in reality, where we start the ceremony by revealing oneself as the Buddha, revealing oneself as the Dharma, and revealing oneself as the Sangha, which is quite revolutionary. That's the starting point. We're not an imperfect being that needs to work on himself to be worthy of something. And we are not becoming somebody else or something that we are not by practicing. We are connecting with our fundamental nature. And this is also something that requires trust. When we make the vow of, as it is expressed in the Bodhisattva path, in the Mahayana tradition, when we make the vow of saving all sentient beings, we are already expanding our the concept that we have of who we are, and in a way they can reveal what we can call in Buddhist jargon, what we can call non-separation, interconnection. My awakening does not exist separated from everyone else, everything else. This is the way it is expressed, which I think is also different in the Theravada tradition. The way we tell the moment of awakening of Shakyamuni Buddha. How wonderful! So, seeing the morning star, he says, "How wonderful! How wonderful!" All beings, the great earth, the whole universe are simultaneously enlightened. So, really the expression of non-separation and the fundamental nature of life itself. Of course, this can sound maybe philosophical as a reasoning, but it is received and actualized as a life path. We take these vows and we deal with them as questions, as practices, as mirrors, and we manifest them as we are, with the conditions that we have, with the particular circumstances we live in, in our time and age, and in the way we go about our lives, our relationships, our connections. So that's what I would say about it.
so mysterious, you said, because it was really important to you. And could you say a bit more about why it is so important to feel accepted for anybody, and why it's important to feel welcome, and this sense of belonging that we need as human beings? You know, obviously the Buddha in his wisdom said that the third gem is Sangha.
Yeah.
You know, why is it important for us? And why is, I mean, of course I have my views, but I would like to hear yours. And it hits me that if one feels so, if one is feeling so strongly of feeling welcomed and feeling a sense of belonging in a certain moment, if I feel that, it's because there is a direct opposite. You know, maybe I feel it because other times I
Yeah.
don't feel like
Yes.
I belong. You know? I don't
Yeah.
feel I'm welcome.
Of course.
So is that the cause of why I feel it now? So I would love to hear your thoughts on, you know, not just the teachings on why Sangha is important,
Yeah.
but also your experience of why
Yeah,
Sangha
sure.
is important.
Sure.
I think it would be helpful for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wouldn't say it's the reason, you know, it's very much our experience, and for me it's enough to feel welcome, truly welcome and truly accepted, to see the impact that it has in the heart. I had these moments when I came from Japan, for example, from my monastic time, and my natural wish was to connect with my teacher, so I wrote to her, and it was so open and so accepting. You know, I was entertaining a lot of guilt and doubts about my path, if I had failed the connection, if I had, you know, which is something that is each one of us has his or her own share of worries and regrets and doubts, and but to feel truly welcome it touches something somewhere at the core of our experience of being a human being, and why I said the feelings of disconnection and if you want loneliness in a way, why I said they are not the cause, because I feel that it is so powerful to feel welcome and to feel accepted, because it rings a chord of truth deep in us, this experience of coming home, I feel that the moments of insight and the moments that sound true to us have this quality of coming home without the need to have an explanation or intellectual understanding. Just sounds true, just sounds so familiar. I really appreciate in our Buddhist path that we don't need to convince anybody. In the West it's so clear. People come because their wisdom, their intuition, and their sense of well-being and to answer some fundamental needs, people resonate with the Dharma, resonate with the path. They don't need to be coerced, convinced, forced in any way. So it's a deeply non-violent path. I think what I can say about your question is really from the level of experience. I think it goes even. It has very deep roots in the way we, as human beings, in the way we long for care. I think of we have a beautiful poem in our tradition. There's a line coming up from there. Things return to their nature as a child to their mother. It's so natural, you know, and I think we all deeply long for that. Separation, hatred, mistrust, they are not our nature, and we long for something else. Maybe often we might lose track of that, but when we feel it, it does need a lot of explanations. Sometimes it can even be, what's the word? Pride would prefer to be above that and not need that kind of acceptance, and still it has such a obvious importance in the heart that we can just open up to it. It's such a I think it's such a such a deep suffering to not know that, and also for me meeting the Dharma as that quality also, finally finding, even if in the beginning might not even be very understandable, but it just sounds true and somehow sounds like the language that I was looking for to express things that I didn't even know how to, and finally, of course, this is true to some of us. For many other people, there will be other teachings and other honorable traditions and very different ways of realizing oneself as a human being. But that was my experience also when I encountered which you see in as I said, I discovered Buddhism in Thailand, and in a way the human manifestation of Buddhism here that goes through people, I still feel the same quality of openness and friendliness and yes, as we were saying, welcoming. So I don't know if I answered your question, but it's so obvious, you know. I can't say much around it. I just know it's true, and I know it really, in a way, changed my life. Not only in what offered me as a way, as a path to find my way, you know. As you do here, you just open the doors for people to come and sit. Who knows what's in their head, what's their problems, what's their what they long for, and still people can come here and find refuge and comfort. But maybe even beyond that, for me it worked on a very fundamental negative belief about myself, you know, which I think it's not only my problem. You know. Other people have that kind of conditioning. You know, am I good enough? Am I worthy of existing? Am I able to connect in an open, sincere, and beneficial way? And sometimes life is so somehow confusing, and even after starting to practice, you know, the amount of chaos and, you know, the pains of transformation that came up, and I wanted to be a good person, you know. That's what I resonated with, and it takes time, you know. It takes time, and it's never finished. But yeah. But the seed is there in this welcome, and I truly believe that we cannot change without that. You know, we cannot change without that. Without some kind of, which doesn't exclude seeing harmful behavior or things that need to be transformed, but without a kind of fundamental trust and like seeing the good part in the other person, and really I think we cannot change through judgment, mistrust, rejection. Just reinforces our already deeply ingrained negative beliefs about oneself. So in a way, yeah, I think of this legend of Abram, you know, who had 4 entrances in his tent, so the people would come. They didn't need to go around to enter his tent. You know, his practice was a practice of welcoming and hosting and hospitality as a fundamental teaching. Yeah. Sorry, it was a little bit long, but I could have say the same thing in words. I just feel it, you know. I just felt it, and I feel it, and it's yeah.
When I came in, I met a friend and I said, probably today the teacher's going to say, just sit. But do you recommend just sitting, or is there any system of rhythmic breathing or counting breath or anything like that in Zen?
Well, just sitting is kind of a expression that would need some clarification. in my humble opinion. Yeah, just sitting doesn't depend, for me, doesn't depend on sitting or not sitting. You know, it's a quality, it's a quality of being, and it expresses itself in many ways. Well, just sitting, in what relates to the practice of sitting meditation. It's very difficult to do, to just sit, and it's a big challenge, because very often we need some kind of entertainment or busyness or goal-oriented. We need to keep track of our progress. We need to be sure that we gain something from this practice. It's very difficult to just be with oneself, which doesn't exclude any of that, but at the same time really shifts the focus from what I do, what I get, where I am, where I'm going, shifts the focus from that to whatever is manifesting at this moment. In ways that go beyond my capacity to grasp and to understand and to make sense of it. So we kind of jump into a different different approach, let's say. More precisely about what I heard from your question.
Yes.
We do hold what I would call a good posture, physically, with qualities of presence, awakefulness, but also deep relaxation, and in ways that I usually don't sit like this, so it's quite uncomfortable for me. I need a cushion, because that, in a very practical, physical way, engages the back in a certain way, opens the chest and the belly, allows the breathing to go deep, minimizes the effort on the shoulders, on the neck, etc. So you have this very physical aspect of meditation, which translates into for lack of better words, a kind of energetic quality that comes with prolonged sitting and deep focus. You have the tool of the breath, that is our kind of main tool, if I might say, since it offers a bridge very connected between physical, mental, emotional experience, and also very much in the present moment. And we have, at least in our tradition, we have koan practice, which uses koans, questions, words, to open up, to deepen and open up. So they are used as, in a way, concentration tools to focus the mind, in the very same way as we use the breathing, you know, to focus and bring the mind to a point of openness, maybe, and to, in a way, frustrate the thinking mind, the monkey mind, which allows something more spontaneous to manifest, and something more rooted in sitting itself, in the mind of Zazen. Very often we do a kind of superficial difference between koan practice and just sitting, you know, shikantaza as it's expressed in Japanese. Even the just sitting can be heard, you know, can be expressed in many ways. Is it a passive just sitting? A passive, very passive just sitting? Passive, yeah. Is it a committed just sitting? Is it a fully engaged just sitting? How does it manifest when we walk, when we eat, when we talk? How does it manifest this quality? Koan practice, in a way, just comes to the same experience. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
I think you did. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just curious, in Zen, do you focus on body sensations at all, or is it typically on breath?
In my experience, I cannot speak for Zen. I speak from my experience. It's a quite straightforward and simple practice of awareness and concentration. They're not always go together. So a very very straightforward in the sense that well, words also are difficult in this way because we end up separating and, you know, in an analytical way, separating and structuring things that are inseparable. So, of course, you can focus and go deep into single-minded concentration, but the mind at the same time has the quality of open awareness and response, natural response to whatever manifests, a thought, a perception, a sensation. So it's impossible to exclude one of the or the other. Of course, when we focus deeply with the koan or with the following the breath, for example, maybe at some level, for some time, there is less sensitivity to sensations and perceptions, and at the same time, that's the nature of our mind, and sometimes one way leads to the other. You see, like focused concentration leads to a more open awareness experience. But I would say there's other practices and other schools that go through sensorial awareness in a more elaborate way. We have this expression of dropping off body and mind, dropping off body and mind. It's in a way related with this experience of a kind of tipping point in just sitting, in concentration, like a tipping point. But this is a gateway to ordinary mind, if you want. You know, sensations, perceptions, thoughts. Nothing is excluded from this. Maybe something has shifted at the root of where we come from as a life force, but I hope yeah, it answers.
You appear very calm. Have you always been a very calm person?
I'm not sure if I am very calm now. No, I don't think I was. I think it would even be what's the word? Difficult to believe, you know, if I think of myself as a kid, as a young man. At the time I was growing up in Portugal, there was not all these labels you have now for kids and for grown-ups. All these deficit disorders, but I think I had many of those. Maybe what you call calm, I relate it to an experience of space, you know, to accept to be in this space, you know, in a very I would say it's not that it's powerless, but it's kind of, I was mentioning empty-handed, and I think there is another expression that is better than that for what I'm trying to say. Maybe it will come after. But to accept to be, yeah, maybe powerless or disarmed, you know, without a lot of tools. To accept to be in this space, to trust the as I said, the intention, but also the empowerment that kind of carries me. I feel very much carried. Because in this experience of space, there can be anxiety, worry, not feeling up to the task, But yeah, there's something peaceful about it, yes. And I think this is something that we all experience in meditation. You know, this space that kind of it's like the ground of what we are as awareness, where things manifest, and with time we open up to it, and we trust it more. Also, I think it's important to, you know, little by little connect and clarify our intention and our life path, what we want to do in life, you know. That helps.
Yeah.
That helps. You know, what I can ask in a moment like this is that it may be beneficial, you know, and it's so clear that it doesn't depend just on me or my qualities or my willpower. It's so much bigger than that. And even how can I know? How can I be sure of the way what I do, what I say can touch other people and be beneficial? I cannot measure it. You know? I have to trust that. Somehow we are in all this together, so sometimes it even feels foolish to feel peaceful.
Are you sort of potentially referring to the idea of radical acceptance of what it is?
Yes, yes, yeah, I can resonate with that. Also, I think ties up with the question of the vows and the precepts. You know, the bodhisattva precepts, in the sense that you kind of sign up for something bigger than you, and you recognize in yourself this willingness to do good, even with all the obscurations and shortcomings and limitations that I have, but somehow it's like a switch, you know. And even if my capacity to express them and to manifest them in my interactions with the world, not only human beings but with the world, even if I might and I do fall short, fall short of embodying these precepts, already the intention has been set in motion, you know. And this, I truly believe that something in us, just by conceiving this kind of inconceivable aspiration, just by that, something has shifted. We actually have, I don't know if I remember it properly, we have a beautiful phrase in the Jukai ceremony, in the ceremony of precepts. When bodhisattvas generate the pure intention of liberating all beings, all qualities and all realizations of the Buddha mind are completely realized. It just blows our mind, right? We can't grasp it with our dualistic mind, and yet it operates. It operates in a mysterious way, and somehow it resonates, or it can resonate. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm taking too long, or
I was about to say that it's almost 8 o'clock.
yes.
Which is the time that we have to stop. Is there maybe anyone who has not spoken yet that still would like to ask the last question to Sensei? No? If not, then we stop the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
talk and for answering all our many questions. I hope you found it useful, enlightening perhaps even. For those of you who want to know more, next week we have another session. Next week it will be a Thai monk who will be talking about the characteristics of existence. So maybe some of you know anicca, dukkha and anatta, non-permanence, impermanence, suffering and the no-self, which is another topic that we have recently discussed in the Dhamma circle.
Thanks everyone for joining. I just would like to make a little announcement that Joao Sensei will be here until mid-October, and during this period we will have a few retreats, like 3-day to 5-day retreats around Thailand, and if you are interested, we have the information up at the table outside. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Both the meeting next Sunday and the retreat that Wim was just referring to, we'll also put it on our website, Facebook and Meetup. So there you can find the details and decide where and when to come. Okay, with that, to the practical issues, as always, please, we need to clean up the room, the brown seats below the balcony. Please be careful not to run over the Buddha. The white seats, they can be already found today best. Can we just stack them in here, or do we have to go behind the curtain? We can stack them in here. Then please, there are 2 boxes outside if you want to show your appreciation for Sensei and for Banali that makes this venue available. You can donate your donations. There's one box to the left, that's for Sensei. The box to the right is for Banali. With that, once again, thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very
Thank you all, and hope to see you next week.
Not the best, he's a central guy.
We don't have a name yet. We are just starting, coming out of the egg. Oh, wonderful. She knows everything, more than me, of what's going on. Yes.